Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel ACBA Designs. On this tutorials, I'm going to teach you how to make this beautiful outfit for a 3 year girl. So let's get started. So these are the materials we'll be using for our tutorials: an African print, a lining, zip, tape measure, tailor choke, ruler, scissors, our mesh, and then pins. So I'll fold the fabric into two like this. Okay, so from the bust measurement for my client is 22 inches. So 22 divided by 4 will give me 5.5 plus 2 inches as my seam allowance, making 7.5. So as you can see, I marked out the 7.5, and then shoulder to waist is 9 inches plus 1 inch as my seam allowance, making 10 inches. So I marked out the 10 inches and then connected it with my ruler. I then cut out and then cut the same thing for the back pieces. After cutting out the back pieces, I'll then go ahead and then shape the neckline, the shoulder line, and then the armhole. But before cutting the back, I will leave an extension of 1 inch for the zip allowance, like what I have done. Okay, so I will cut out. The width and length for the neckline is 2.5 by 2.5 for the front. So the back is going to be 1.5 by 2.5. And then the shoulder line is 2.5 plus 0.5 as my seam allowance, making 3 inches. And then the armhole is 5.5. I then came down and then draw my armhole curve. Okay, so I'm cutting the back neckline, that is 1.5, and then cut out the front neckline, that is 2.5. So I'll slope the shoulder line by half an inch and then cut out the armhole. I then cut the same thing on our lining pieces. The next thing to do is to cut our front yoke. So I'll cut a yoke for the front pieces. Okay, so as you can see, I am marking out the armhole, the shoulder line, the neckline. Okay, then I'll measure from the waist upwards 3.5 inches. I wasn't getting the right thing. I wasn't getting it, so I brought the tape measure downwards, upwards. Sorry, from the waist upwards 3.5. I marked it and marked the same thing at the other side. So I then folded it and then draw my straight line. So after drawing the straight line, I then cut out, but I'll be cutting the same thing, means I will double it. Great, so this is what I have after cutting two mesh. The next thing to do is to go ahead and then place it on the right side of the front pieces like this. So I'll place the two on the right side of the front pieces like this. Okay, so to finish the hem of the mesh, what I'll do is to mark out a straight line where it ends, bring it down like this, so have an inch downwards, and then flip it back, covering the chest area like this, and then place my lining pieces onto it and sew all around the neckline and then the armhole. I'll do the same thing for the back pieces. I'll place the lining at the right side of the back and then sew all around. So this is what I have after sewing all around the armhole and then the neckline for both the back and then the front. I went ahead to notch on all the curves, the armhole, the neckline, both for the front and then the back. Great, so this is what I have after sewing the hem of the mesh, the armhole, and then the neckline. Also, I indicated the zip allowance for the back. I'll then place the right side of both together like this and then shape it according to my client's measurement. After shaping to my client's measurement, I then cut out the excess at the side and side, remaining like 1 inch at the side and side. We're about to finish the armhole. We're about to finish the shoulder line. I'll then grab the back shoulder like this, fold the back in about half an inch, and then insert the front pieces or the front shoulder in it like this, and then bring it out from in between the lining and then the fabric like this, then sew down about half an inch. Okay, so I'll arrange it so that the seam to seam matches, and then sew down about 1/2 inch. Now this is what I have after sewing down the shoulder line for both sides. I'll then turn out to the right side. So this is what I got. I'm about cutting the skirt part for the dress. Okay, so the dress length is 22 inches, and then from shoulder to waist is 9 inches. So 22 minus 9 inches, I'll be left with 13 inches. And out of the 13 inches, I will take out 5 inches for the mesh measurement. So the remaining will be 8 inches plus 2 inches as my sewing allowance. That will be 10 inches. So I marked out 10 inches. I folded it and then marked out 10 inches. So means I have gotten two yards. So I'll be cutting additional 10 inches and then 36 inches long. So 10 inches wide and then 36 inches long, meaning I will get 3 pieces. Okay, so this is it. I'll go ahead and join all the 3 pieces together. This is what I have after joining all the 3 pieces together. The next thing to do is to go ahead and then pull gathers as one side. Great. So this is what I have after pulling gathers on one side. Okay. So I pulled the gathers to the waist measurement of my client. That is 22 inches plus 1 inch at both sides. No, the waist measurement is 21 inches plus 1 inch at both sides, making 23 inches. So as you can see, I'll place the top onto it and then place the lining onto the top and then pleat along to fit in the waist area. Go ahead and then sew 1 inch and then flip onto the sewed part. Okay, so this is what I have after sewing and then knitting the waist area. I then flipped the lining onto it so that it knitings or it covers the knitting part. The next thing to do is to go ahead and then finish the down part by double folding and then stitching. The next thing is to cut out the mesh. So the length of the mesh is 7 inches. So I marked out the 7 inches. Okay, it's actually 5 inches, but 1 inch will be overlapping the dress. So I'll sew 1 inch down overlapping the dress, and then the additional 1 inch is the hem area. After I am done stitching, I'll then go ahead and then trim off the excess so that the hem area becomes even or equal. That is why I added 2 inches to the 5 inches and then marked out 7 inches. So I'll be cutting out all the pieces, like any quantity the mesh will reach. So I actually had 9 pieces out of the mesh I bought 2 yards of net. So this is the quantity of pieces I had. I had 9 pieces. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so what to do next is to open up and then sew down 1/2 inch. I will join all the 9 pieces together. After joining all the 9 pieces, this is what I had. The next thing to do is to go ahead and then run a garter stitch at one side of the pieces. Okay, great. So this is what I have after running the garter stitches. The next thing to do is to go ahead and then double it. So I'll double it this way. I'll fold it into 2 and then double the gathers that I created like this. So before I'll double, I'll measure all round the skirt, the hem of the skirt, and then check if I double it, I'm going to get the same thing for the hem of the skirt. So this is it. I place it onto the skirt this way. I made it overlap like 1.5 here, like this, and then sew down. So I decided to take it to my machine and then sew it so that you would get to see what I mean. So this is it. I made sure it's well arranged and then even, like the space I left at the other part is very equal, like 1.5 throughout, and then sewed along the area where I stitched or made the gathers. I sewed along so that the stitches wouldn't be too much. Okay, so this is what I have after sewing down the hem of my dress. So the next thing to do is to cut the remaining pieces a long strip of about 3 like this. So I'll then bring them together like this and decide to braid, like braiding a rasta. Okay, so I'll braid it like braiding a rasta, like this. So after braiding, the next thing to do is to go ahead and place it at the waist of the dress. I'll place it at the center back or the zip line area. I'll place it there and then pin along to the other side of the center back. The next thing to do is to go ahead and join the back pieces into two, but please make sure the waistline matches the other waistline so that it doesn't shift after we fix the zip. I will sew down to the hem area and leave about 12 inches from the back downwards and then fix my zip. So this is what I have after fixing the zip. As you can see, the dress is ready and neatly done. Please, at this point, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, kindly do so and then press the notification bell to notify you anytime I upload any video. Wait for more videos from us. Okay, so the mesh I placed at the waist area, what I am going to do is to use my thread and needle and then hem it or secure it downwards. So I will secure it through the wrong side. I couldn't sew on it, or I didn't want the thread to be showing on it, so I decided to secure it instead inside the wrong side of my dress. So after I was done securing, I realized the hem area, one part is longer than the other part, so I trimmed off and then I got an even down or even hem. Thank you all for watching my videos. See you all in our next video.